Something we got, guys, is some comedy. We got some George Carlin. That is a classic comedian. If you would like to suggest any comedy clips, please make them no longer than 3 to 5 minutes. That would be ideal. Go to the community page, and I believe I have a comedy spot. If not, Presto-Ernesto definitely does. So request some comedy. Could be Family Guy clips. Could be American Dad clips. Could be Simpsons clips. Could be whatever.
Anything comedic.
We like ending the show on a laugh, so sit back and relax. We got some jokes and some magic coming up for you at the end of the show. Let's do it.
There's a lot of things you never see, and you don't know you don't see them because you don't see them. You got to see something first to know you never saw it, then you see it and you say, hey, I never saw that. Too late, you just saw it. I know things you never see. You never see a Rolls Royce with a bumper sticker that says, shit happens. You never see a really big, tall, fat Chinese guy with red hair. You never see a wheelchair with a roll bar. You never see someone taking a shit while running at full speed. And you never see a picture of Margaret Thatcher strapping on a dildo.
That's classic right there. That is classic.
Then there are some things you never hear. That makes sense. Some things you never hear. You never hear this. Dad, you really ought to drink more. Here's some you don't hear too often. Do what you want to the girl, but leave me alone.
True.
Here is something no one has ever heard, ever. As soon as I put this hot poker in my ass, I'm going to chop my dick off. You know why you never heard that? Right, no one ever said that. Which to me is the more amazing thing. No one ever thought to say that before tonight. I'm the first person in the world to put those words together in that particular order.
That's the best. That's why writing's awesome. That's why poetry's amazing.
Here's something you don't hear too often. Honey, let's sell the children, move to Zanzibar, and begin taking opium rectally. Mom, I got a big date tonight. Can I borrow a French tickler from you? Then there are some things you don't want to hear. Some things you just flat don't want to hear.
Oh, boy.
You don't want to come home from work and hear, honey, remember how we told the children never to play on the railroad tracks?
Oh, my God.
You don't want to be sitting in your doctor's office and hear this. Well, Jim, there's no reason why you shouldn't live another 20 to 30 years. However, you will be bleeding constantly from both eyes. Here's something I don't want to hear. I'm pregnant, you're the father, and I'm going to kill all three of us.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Calm down. Have some dip. Honey, it's the police. They have a search warrant. And the 300 kilos of cocaine are still sitting out in the living room. Here's something nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear this. Try to think back to when this was appropriate to your life. You and your fiancé have been invited to your mom and dad's house for dinner for the first time. Halfway through dinner, your fiancé stands up and says, I'll be right back. I gotta take a dump. There seems to be no really genteel way of announcing publicly a dump. And frankly, I'm not impressed with people who tell me what they're going to do when they go to the bathroom in the first place. Doesn't it bother you, people who announce that, I'll be right back, I'm going to take a shit. Never mind! Do what you have to do and leave me out of it.
I mean, I've actually never actually sat down and watched a full special. Have you, George Carlin?
No.
I think he's bigger in the States than he is up in Canada. But I mean, he's obviously, rest in peace. He's historically, he is dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he died recently, like within the last 10 years.
Yeah, probably 5 or 7 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, cutting edge. It's pretty artistic, dude, to come up with the weirdest things you can think about. Like that was kind of my entire poetry career. That's why I mentioned poetry during it, because my goal as a poet was to write something that no one's ever written before, ever, like in the history of mankind. And you have to be sure, and you know it when you find it. You know, so I wrote disgusting shit mostly.
There were some gems in there.
Yeah, there were some gems. I still got all the books up here. I got all look at all my books right there. I should start giving away books. I got about like 20 books I don't need. I should start doing that on this show. First one, a super chat. $30 gets a free book. There we go. That's my new thing. I'll first one, a super chat. $30 gets a free book. I'll send it to you. You find me on Instagram, but only the select few are going to hear that. We're not going to rate comedy. Chelsea, what do you say?
It was a little crude for me. I talk like a sailor sometimes. Some of your poetry was a bit much for me, but you had gems. There was gems in here. It's George Carlin. He's awesome. I can't hate.
I love comparing comedy to poetry. It's so funny.
No, I feel like there's a similar vibe to your stuff and his stuff.
And George Carlin's.
Like,
I see
you
him
push that line.
Push the envelope, you know, like try and be as vulgar as you can without being arrested.
Vulgar is honest.
Yeah, vulgar is honest. Press, what do you say?
What's happening, Gorilla Strong? I was just now seeing that he was in the chat. I was just freestyling and like I've watched like the first 15 seconds of it and it kind of caught my attention, you know. It's just the premise of it, you know what I mean? The stuff you don't see, the stuff you don't hear, you know.
Yeah.
I loved it, man.
Next one we got, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to get into more George Carlin, like you said. I haven't watched a whole lot, a little bit here and there, but that's about it.
I wonder if his specials made it onto Netflix. They must have.
Maybe
Maybe
it's before Netflix. Maybe it was more like HBO and stuff, right?
Yeah, HBO, but who owns the rights? That's the whole thing too.